The 2025 NFL Draft was set to be Shedeur Sanders' crowning moment, a culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and relentless ambition. For Shedeur, this was supposed to be the night his dreams came true, the night he would step into the NFL spotlight and carry on the Sanders legacy. After a record-breaking career at Colorado under his father, Sanders, expectations were sky-high. Shedeur had shattered school records, electrified crowds, and proven himself as one of college football's most dynamic quarterbacks. The football world buzzed with anticipation, certain he'd be a top pick. The Sanders family arrived in Green Bay ready for a first-round celebration. Cameras flashed, fans cheered, and the energy in the room was electric. It felt like the beginning of a new dynasty. But as the picks rolled in, Shedeur's phone stayed silent. Each passing selection brought more tension, the excitement slowly giving way to anxiety and confusion. Round after round, his name wasn't called. The hours dragged on, and the once celebratory mood at the Sanders table turned somber. The cameras captured not joy, but disbelief. The world watched as the unthinkable unfolded. Shedeur, the star, was being overlooked. The projected star quarterback slid all the way to the 5th round, pick 144 to the Cleveland Browns. It was a stunning fall for a player once considered a sure thing. Relief replaced excitement. This wasn't the dream, but it was a new beginning. The Sanders family embraced, holding on to hope and each other, determined to find meaning in the disappointment. Sanders reframed the moment. "This isn't a setback, it's a setup. Use it." His words echoed with wisdom, urging Shedeur to turn pain into purpose. The fall was a public humbling, but it set the stage for an underdog story. The world had counted him out, but Shedeur was determined to write his own narrative. Shedeur was no longer the golden boy. He was the overlooked prospect with something to prove. The headlines questioned his talent, but he let their doubts fuel his fire. The disappointment became fuel, a chip on his shoulder to outwork everyone. Every early morning, every late-night rep, was a step toward redemption. For the first time, Shedeur faced real adversity on the biggest stage. The pressure was immense, but so was his resolve to rise above it. The NFL Draft had delivered a harsh lesson, but also a rare opportunity, a chance to prove that greatness isn't given, it's earned through resilience. Now, he had the motivation to show every team that passed on him what they missed. Every practice, every snap, became a statement. The underdog story had begun. For Shedeur Sanders, the fall from grace was just the start of a new, even greater climb. As Shedeur processed his draft day slide, a message arrived from Tom Brady. The GOAT, once a 6th-round pick himself, offered no sympathy, just advice. "Remember every team that passed on you. Use it." For Shedeur, Brady's words were more than encouragement. They were a blueprint. Brady had built a Hall of Fame career on being overlooked. The message: the draft is just the start. What you do next is what matters. Shedeur embraced the advice, shifting his mindset from disappointment to determination. He spoke publicly about the impact of Brady's text, fueling his drive to prove doubters wrong. Now, he wasn't just Deion's son, he was part of the late-round QB club, following in Brady's footsteps. The parallel was clear. Both undervalued, both with something to prove. Brady's message became Shedeur's roadmap. Your draft number doesn't define you. Your response does. Shedeur Sanders was officially on the Tom Brady starter plan. Every legend's journey starts with an unexpected twist. For Brady, it was Bledsoe's injury in 2001 that opened the door. Fast forward to 2025. The Browns starter Dillon Gabriel goes down mid-game against the Ravens. Suddenly, Shedeur Sanders, the 5th-round rookie, is called in. He hadn't taken first-team reps. He was the emergency plan. But in the NFL, opportunity comes without warning. Just like Brady, Shedeur was thrust into action by fate. The pressure was immense, the preparation minimal. This was his chance to show the Browns and the league what he could do. No one anoints you the starter, you just become the next man up. The moment was daunting, but it was the crucible where careers are forged. Shedeur stepped into the huddle, the weight of the franchise on his shoulders. The parallels to Brady's story were impossible to ignore. Shedeur's NFL debut was a true trial by fire, thrust into the action mid-game, without the benefit of first-team reps, and immediately facing the Baltimore Ravens' notoriously fierce and aggressive defense. The stakes were high, and the pressure was immense for the rookie quarterback. The speed, physicality, and complexity of the pro game hit him all at once, leaving him little time to adjust. Every snap seemed faster, every defender more relentless, and the playbook suddenly felt twice as thick. He managed to complete just 4 of 16 passes for 47 yards, took 2 punishing sacks, and threw a costly interception that shifted the game's momentum. It was a harsh welcome to the league, and the numbers told the story of a rookie's struggle. The Browns ultimately lost 23-16, and Shedeur's first taste of the NFL was undeniably bitter. The disappointment was written on his face as he left the field, knowing he'd have to regroup quickly. In the post-game press conference, Shedeur didn't shy away from responsibility. He owned his struggles, telling reporters, "I didn't play well. I need to build chemistry and get better." His honesty and humility were clear for all to see. This level of accountability impressed both coaches and teammates, who recognized the maturity it takes to admit mistakes and commit to improvement, even after such a tough outing. The rough debut was a necessary lesson. After all, even legends like Tom Brady had unspectacular first appearances. Every great quarterback has faced adversity early on, and it's how they respond that defines their careers. Early struggles like these expose weaknesses, but they also provide invaluable experience. They force young players to adapt, learn, and grow in ways that practice never could. For Shedeur, the game was humbling but essential. It was a reminder that talent alone isn't enough at this level. Resilience and determination are just as important. The experience showed him the mountain he needed to climb, and the work that still lay ahead if he wanted to succeed in the NFL. The key wasn't the struggle itself, but how he'd respond to it, how he'd use this setback as fuel for his journey. The Tom Brady starter kit always begins with adversity. Every great quarterback's story starts with a moment of doubt, a test of character. Now, Shedeur had to prove he could learn from his mistakes, put in the work, and grow into the leader his team needed. The real test was coming next week, and Shedeur was determined to be ready for it. With Gabriel out, Shedeur was named the Browns starter for the next game against the Raiders. For the first time, he got a full week of practice with the first team. The Browns were 2-8, desperate for hope, and haunted by a 0-17 streak for rookie QB debuts since 1995. Shedeur leaned on advice from his father and Tom Brady: prepare, stay confident, use the doubt as fuel. He immersed himself in the game plan, building chemistry with his receivers. Veterans rallied around him, seeing his dedication and quiet confidence. The energy in practice shifted. Shedeur was now the leader. The pressure was immense, but so was the opportunity. He was ready for his first true test as an NFL starter. The stage was set for a potential turning point. All eyes were on Shedeur in Vegas. Shedeur's first start began like his debut: struggles, stalled drives, and mounting pressure. The Browns' offense sputtered, and the rookie looked shaky. At halftime, the narrative was bleak. But something changed in the locker room. Shedeur emerged for the second half with new confidence. He trusted his protection, delivered accurate throws, and found his rhythm. The prime-time swagger appeared. He connected with Jerry Jeudy for a crucial 39-yard gain, sparking the offense. The Browns started moving the chains, building momentum. The transformation was dramatic, a rookie settling in, making adjustments. The second half was a different story. Shedeur was no longer just surviving, he was leading. In the fourth quarter, the Browns needed a spark, and Shedeur delivered. He hit rookie Dylansampson on a swing pass, and Sampson turned it into a 66-yard touchdown. The play electrified the Browns and silenced the Vegas crowd. It was Shedeur's first NFL touchdown pass. A smart, decisive play under pressure. He followed up with a 52-yard bomb to Isaiah Bond, showing off his arm talent. The offense, once stagnant, was suddenly dynamic. Shedeur finished 11 of 20 for 209 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. But the numbers didn't tell the whole story. It was about poise, timing, and a dramatic turnaround. He led the Browns to a 24-10 victory, his first NFL win. Adversity had forged a defining moment. The underdog had arrived. Cleveland had hope again. The Browns' 24-10 win was more than just a victory. It was a moment that rewrote the narrative for a franchise and a fan base that had waited decades for something to believe in. The energy in the stadium was electric, and the city of Cleveland felt a renewed sense of hope. Shedeur became the first Browns rookie QB to win his debut since 1995, breaking a 0-17 curse. For years, the Browns had cycled through quarterbacks, searching for a spark. Shedeur's performance was more than just a win, it was a sign that the future could finally be different. He lifted a weight off the franchise and its fans. The relief and joy were visible on every face in the crowd, as if a long dark cloud had finally passed. For Colorado, he was the first Buffalo to start an NFL game at QB since 2005, a point of pride for the program and his father, Deion. The entire Colorado community watched with pride as one of their own made history on the biggest stage. The win sent shockwaves through the league. A fifth-round underdog had led a struggling team to a decisive road victory. Analysts and fans alike were left buzzing about the Browns' new quarterback and what this could mean for the rest of the season. Coach Stefanski wouldn't name a starter for next week, but Shedeur had made his case. His poise, leadership, and ability to handle pressure were impossible to ignore. He'd injected life into a lost season. The locker room was buzzing, and the fans dared to dream again. The journey from draft day disappointment to historic win was complete. For now. Shedeur's story was one of perseverance, turning setbacks into motivation. The motivation from Brady, the belief from his father, and his own resilience had paid off. Every lesson, every challenge, had led to this breakthrough moment. Shedeur had proven he belonged. He showed the poise of a veteran and the hunger of a rookie with something to prove. The win was a statement. He was here to do more than just participate. He was here to lead, to inspire, and to change the course of Browns history. The NFL had a new story to watch, and Shedeur Sanders was just getting started. Shedeur's journey echoes Tom Brady's late-round pick, overlooked, seizing an unexpected chance. The first win is just the beginning. Brady's lesson, never stop improving. Shedeur must build on his success, analyze mistakes, and work relentlessly. Consistency is what separates legends from flashes in the pan. The Browns now have a real quarterback competition. Whether Shedeur keeps the job or not, he's changed the team's outlook. His next test, tougher defenses, more pressure, higher expectations. The draft slide, Brady's text, the injury, and the win are just the first chapters. If Shedeur keeps embracing the underdog role and prepares with relentless dedication, his story could become legendary. The Brady blueprint is there. Now it's up to Shedeur to walk the path. The NFL world is watching.